Let's move on to Watch This Jerks. I think that's a great name because it applies to everybody. No one will feel left out.
Sure.
I watched a couple movies. I watched the new MacBeth movie with Denzel Washington on Apple TV. It's in black and white and also not widescreen for some reason.
That's weird. I feel like that would bother me.
They also made him speak a foreign language.
What? No, what do you mean?
It just seemed like something you would watch.
No, he speaks. It's Shakespeare. There's not subtitles.
Mm-hmm. Did he see a dagger before him?
I did turn on the captions though at one point just to better understand the dialogue. It's really I've never read MacBeth or seen a movie or anything, so I didn't know anything about it. And I guess it was a good version of MacBeth. I enjoyed it. It was very artistic looking. I don't know why it had to be in 4:3. I guess they were inspired.
How Shakespeare intended.
Just like Justice League, right? I think they were inspired.
Also how Shakespeare intended.
Yeah. Black and white and 4:3. That's where all the best art is. It was good. If you have Apple TV, I'd recommend checking it out. Get a little culture. Watch some Shakespeare. Denzel was great. All the acting was really good. The woman from Fargo is in it.
Frances McDormand. She's married to the director.
She was great in it. I don't know that I knew anybody else, but it was good. It's cool. Artsy fartsy. You love it. Everybody loves it.
It's Shakespeare. We all love Shakespeare.
Also artsy fartsy. I bought the Scarface 4K disc and I made Ty watch it with me. He was home from school on Tuesday for I guess like Chinese New Year.
What did Ty think about Scarface?
He liked it. Ty's like a man now, Ship. You don't even know. Look at this picture. He had to wear like dark makeup today for drama. And he looks like a guy. He came home and I was like, what the fuck? He looked like a goth. But he liked Scarface a lot. I would say that the 4K version's looking pretty good. It was worth the $15 I paid for on Amazon. That movie's still pretty entertaining. It is not Shakespeare, but it is entertaining. And Ty liked it. He said, I don't know if I'll be able to sleep after watching this, but he had no problem.
You should have watched the new SpongeBob movie instead.
No.
That's on Paramount Plus, and since I have that now, my son wanted to watch that, but my son is 10, so I guess that's different. It's not very good. I'm not gonna mince words. It's a little slow, maybe a little sleep inducing, but the animation, which is very different from the show, it's this kind of it's computers, it's CGI, but it's CGI to kind of look like claymation. So it's this sort of weird kind of hybrid look. It's actually really cool. I recommend checking out that animation, but you don't have to watch the whole thing.
Nobody has Paramount Plus.
It's okay.
If you have Paramount Plus.
Yeah, I watched it because we got Paramount Plus, so we could watch the Paw Patrol movie like everybody else. And then we watched that because that was the only other thing on Paramount Plus. And then we canceled.
I also watched The Line Goes Up. That's the 2-hour and 20-minute YouTube movie that Folding Human put together about NFTs that people were talking about. And I watched that. So now I know all about NFTs and why they're not really good at anything.
Oh, okay. Now you know.
In case you were wondering if there was any really good practical usage for them. Not really, other than making crypto more valuable. That's pretty much it. But I would totally recommend watching the video. It's called, type The Line Goes Up into YouTube and you'll learn. It's a 2-hour crash course in NFTs. And then nobody can say you're not educated about NFTs when they start talking to you about NFTs or you see ads about them like I do.
I could take.
Nobody's ever talked to me about NFTs.
Well, you don't go anywhere.
I have a PhD in it, and I guarantee you half the comments would be how I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna just stick with no knowledge and still be told.
It was interesting though. I mean, it's interesting to know, because you're reading about it all the time. You figure I'd like to learn, at least understand it a little better. And it's just amazing, how well. That's a really solid, long documentary that's just right on YouTube. Some guy just put up on YouTube. Great.
You can do that.
Yeah. What a world. What a world. Matt writes in and says, every time I hear Cheapy talk about anything Star Wars, it's all just about how much he dislikes it. Cheapy, do you enjoy anything Star Wars? I enjoy the old Star Wars mostly. I've enjoyed some of the new stuff, like the anime thing that they put out. I forgot Visions, Star Wars Visions. That's pretty cool. And I started watching Boba Fett.
The Book of Boba Fett?
Yes, also known as the Bobalorian, or
that's funny.
How about Fandalorian?
It's not as good.
Okay, because it's just all fan service. Yeah, you have to explain it. It's not good.
Yeah, I get it, but yeah, it's not as good.
People said, like Wombat, you said last week, you got to watch it. You don't have to watch the other episode. This is like a self-contained episode, and I did watch it, and it was okay. It was like it got me interested. Yeah. And then the one that came out today, people were saying was really good. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch it. And I did. And then I made you watch it. Or I asked that you should. I told you that you should probably watch it.
And I did.
I thought it was pretty good. Like,
I liked it.
it was a big cliffhanger at the end. And I stood up and I went, you fuckers. I literally did that in a room by myself. But it's entertaining. I want to talk about it, but I don't want to. I want to spoil like some stuff. Like,
I think there are certain things you could say, like there was some awesome CGI technology in it that was better than I've probably seen that style of CGI before.
Right. Like there might be some spoilers in the next 2 minutes. So if you don't want to be exposed, just fast forward for episode 6. But if you remember in season 2 of The Mandalorian, the last episode, they had CGI Luke, and he was very distracting. They did not have the technology to do CGI Luke.
And that was
like video game Luke.
Yeah, and that was like a year and a half ago.
Okay.
So now we're fast forwarding, and it's amazing what they were able to do in probably a year's time with the technology. Because yes, as Chiefy is alluding to, Luke was back this week.
And he's looking good.
And he looked like Luke. Like it wasn't weird.
Right. I had to, you remember like in the Mandalorian episode, like he didn't do much. Like you see him fighting, but not his face at the same time. And when they tried not to show his face as much as possible, they showed a lot of his like lower body. And this one, he's like jumping around. He's doing everything. He's got a lot of dialogue. They're just like, all right, you made fun of us from the first one. Now look what we can do. We don't even need actors anymore. We can just fucking conjure them up on a computer, and you wouldn't. I thought like they even might have hired a guy that looked like young Mark Hamill. I wasn't sure at first, and but like so, I was pretty impressed. And
it was good. It was good enough to get my wife to watch this episode.
It's just funny. It's funny how the best episodes of the Book of Boba Fett have like the last episode had 0 Boba Fett.
I think he had one line in this episode.
He had maybe 60 seconds. I don't even think of 60 seconds.
Work.
He was, which honestly is true. The less Boba Fett says, the better off he is. I mean, in this episode, it was, he sees the Mandalorian and he goes, "What's up, dog?" And then it cuts to credits.
Yeah.
Written by Dave Filoni.
He basically just needs to walk up to people and tell them whether or not they're good or not if they're dead.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Just every line. You're okay to me, dead.
LeBlorst of Times in the chat says, that's the Boba Fett people love, showing up for one scene and saying one thing. Yeah, I mean, that's canon.
Literally is why we liked Boba Fett, yes.
He looked cool in that suit of armor. He just sort of stood there.
It's the same thing that he went with Darth Maul, right? Like, Darth Maul in the movie, like, whether you like Phantom Menace or not, he was a cool bad guy that didn't have much to say. He had like 3 lines. He just looked cool.
Yes.
That's all Boba Fett had going for him too. It's like, that dude looks cool.
That's what a lot of Star Wars had going for it, is this guy looks cool. He'll be on screen for 30 seconds.
Yes.
And that's fine.
Yeah. It's hard to make a whole show with him, and I guess.
You know what though? I think the way they're doing it is smart, is they're not making a whole show with him. Right. They're centering it around him and what his needs are, but it's not a whole show about him.
This sounds like an I think you should leave sketch. Your pitch.
That's the first pitch that's made me want to watch the show, Wombat. I need to find out what Boba Fett's needs are.
He has needs.
We don't know. It's the book of Boba Fett. So like, there's a lot of things in his book. It's not just Boba Fett.
Is there a physical book?
No, there is no physical book.
Also, still waiting for Grogu Dome. Hashtag Grogu Dome.
Well, that's sort of up in the air. They left that little cliffhanger for
I think
us.
Look, it's like when they show the gun, you know it's going to get fired. We've seen the dome. You can't just have an empty dome in the spaceship.
I don't know. I feel like it's also that thing where it's like maybe it's kind of like it makes you sad every time you see the dome.
But people, they haven't. No. No, it's coming. Grogu Dome is coming. Shipwreck called
Because as
it.
my
He gets
wife
all the
said at
credit.
the end of the episode, or near the end of the episode, Luke's a dick.
Well,
Luke's a dick.
he's letting Grogu choose, even though we don't know what kind of intelligence he has.
Yeah, Luke's a dick. A real friend doesn't do that.
Well, he's not a friend. He's his teacher. Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
He's using the Socratic method. No, I don't. All right. You should watch these episodes, Ship. Just watch episode 5 and 6. You don't need to watch any of the other episodes. I swear. And there's even recaps before them, so you really don't need to watch the other episodes. You won't miss anything. So that was good. We watched that. So yes, Matt, there is good Star Wars. It's just it's far and few between at this point.
This is something that I heard people like rumbling about. Do you think that if they just said, you know what, everything that's happened between episode 7 on, all of that more recent reboot stuff, we're gonna scrap it and we're gonna start over again from this Mandalorian Boba Fett timeline and make movies forward from there as if that other stuff hasn't happened.
And use all CG actors, get Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, everybody.
The whole point is that you don't need those people.
Oh, you don't?
No,
I like those people.
Oh, I know you like those people, but
I clapped when I saw R2-D2.
Oh, see, you're like mega spoiling it now.
What do you mean? He was whatever. Wasn't he in the other ones? He was in the other episodes.
No, that was the first time I think we've seen him.
No, because
yeah, he was in the other thing. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What else have I watched? Oh, I watched the new HBO series, The Gilded Age. Some more highbrow television. This is Downton Abbey, but in New York in like what year? Late 1800s, I think.
I believe that is The Gilded Age. Yes.
It's pretty good. It's cool to see. Like they filmed a lot of it on Long Island. A lot of it in Old Bethpage, in the park there between the Armor Museum and the Old Bethpage Park.
Old Bethpage Village.
Village. Yep. And I think it still might be there. Like they built like a whole city street from Manhattan, like Fifth Avenue. I'm not sure if it's still there, but
that would be cool. I would go back. I haven't been there in forever because my kids kind of outgrew it. But
no, you never outgrow that shit. What? How dare you? I fucking love that place.
A lot of fun. Ship, your kids would probably love it. Next time you're here, maybe we'll go to Old Bethpage Village.
Is that different than where we went last time?
No, didn't we go there?
Some old village last time.
We went there.
You went there. Never mind. You
don't
guys
have that much.
How many old villages are you going to take me to?
As many as we can.
As many as we possibly can.
Who doesn't love an old village? Anyway, The Gilded Age is really good. It's like Downton Abbey, except they don't have British accents anymore. So if you found that part annoying, good luck. I mean, good news. We've got you covered. There's only 2 episodes so far, and we've watched them. It's good. And they wrote it Downtown Abbey in the HBO app, and one of my Twitter followers caught it after I tweeted it out. What else have you been watching?
I watched the After Party, which is
I watched the first episode of that.
Okay, that's on Apple Plus, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's from Christopher Miller, who with his partner, they did Into the Spider-Verse and the 21 Jump Street movies and a ton of other things you've probably seen and enjoyed. This is a comedy mystery where someone is murdered at an after party after a high school reunion, and Tiffany Haddish, the detective, is trying to figure out who the murderer is, and she does it by interviewing everyone at the party, and every episode is that person retelling
the same thing you talked about. It's the Rochambeau method that you talked about last time.
It's a Rashomon. I was getting to that. It's a Rashomon show where everyone is telling their experience. And what
Gotta
makes
catch them all.
Yes, what makes it fun and unique is that every episode, when they retell the story, is also told in it as a different genre. So the second episode is, the person that's telling the story tells it like he's an action hero. And then in the third episode, because there's only been 3 episodes, the narrator is telling the story as if it's in a musical.
Okay.
So everyone
it's
tells
clever.
it. Yeah.
It's interesting. It makes you want to see the different angles that everybody had of the story. Even in the first episode, there's 2 different genres. There's the avant-garde
Oh yeah, that's
genre
like
and
really
the
short.
the rom-com in there as well. Yeah, it's clever. I'm looking forward to it.
It's got Sam Richardson, who's in I Think You Should Leave a lot. So it's got that going for
The
you.
Ghost of Christmas Future, you mean?
Yes, you know it.
There's some really bad stuff going on. The Bone Army. Skeltrex.
So it's totally worth your time, actually, Chiefy. I think you would really like it. It's clever. It's cute.
Okay.
The first episode is probably like 10 minutes too long, but the other episodes are shorter. I think it works better as a slightly shorter show. And I'm excited to see, because I haven't figured out who did it. I have my suspicions, but I don't know who did it yet.
I think that's supposed to be how you do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I'm saying it's got me hooked in.
Nice.
Like Only Murders in the Building.
It almost has the same intro.
Yeah. It's got like an Only Murders vibe to it.
What else?
Oh, did you know that they relaunched Behind the Music?
Who's
That's
they?
also on Paramount. The Paramount people.
Oh.
Remember that show, Behind the Music?
VH1.
20 years ago? Yeah,
Sure.
VH1. I watched the Huey Lewis episode with Huey Lewis now. He's in his early 70s. He's completely deaf now.
Yeah. Mm.
He can't sing anymore because he's deaf.
Right.
He can't go on tour anymore.
Right.
And they just re-interviewed him and showed him clips of when he was 20 years younger and
Yeah.
you could hear.
Yeah.
Like, so what were you thinking here? What was that like? And he goes, yeah, those were better times. It was really depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did he lose his hearing?
He has a disease that caused his eardrums to literally just explode.
It's a bad disease.
It is a bad disease. He's like, yeah, I went on stage one night and I just heard a loud pop and then I couldn't hear anything anymore.
Oh.
And I'm like, that is the
You can't
most
fix that shit?
horrifying thing I've ever heard of my entire life.
Yikes. We can't fix his ears? Like all this technology? I feel like we should be able to fix his ears.
I don't know. And it's like, I don't think, things are
With
definitely
a new drug.
Yikes.
Oh,
Poor
yeah.
Huey.
Yeah, poor Huey. It basically, yeah, seems like a nice guy. He had he does mention that he had pension set up for the band. So if something like this ever happened to him, at least the band members still get paid.
The news, you
I'm like,
mean?
the news
Yeah.
for the news, which I'm like, you know what? It's hard to be mad at the guy.
be
he's
mad
thinking
at
about
Mad at Huey Lewis?
For going deaf? You're
I
mad
don't
at him
know.
for going deaf?
I am mad at him.
Wow,
it's-
that's weird. Weird flex.
It's my flex. I get mad. I'm mad at deaf people all the time.
Right. He ruined it for you. You used to like his songs, and now there's no new songs.
Now there's no new songs. So
Did anybody watch? Carl Kramer writes in and wants to know if we watched the new Halo trailer. Also on Paramount Plus. I feel like this
I know.
episode's sponsored by Paramount Plus. It's not.
well,
by
now
the
that
way.
I have it, I'm gonna watch stuff on it.
You gonna watch the Halo show?
I'll probably check it out. I watched the trailer. It seems like it's gonna be a show.
It seems like they spent money on it. Like it looked pretty good.
Visually, it looked pretty good.
Yeah, I can't. But the story in Halo is always like such nonsense. Are they gonna is it gonna be more of that nonsense or like a new kind of?
It's I don't know. It seemed like it was. It seemed like it was taken from the books a lot. Like it seemed like it was going back to like making him a super soldier type of thing, and
He's under their control. He's like RoboCop basically, or
a voluntary RoboCop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like oh no, what was the one with Jean-Claude Van Damme? Wasn't he like one of those?
Time Cop.
No, with a soldier.
Universal Soldier.
That's
Soldier
the one.
Cop.
Dolph Lundgren, maybe not him.
Yes. Yeah. No.
Or
Yeah.
both of
That's
them?
Dolph Lundgren. Dolph Lundgren. He had the necklace with the ears on it.
Yikes.
You never saw the original Universal Soldier movie. Am I the only one who saw that
No,
movie?
I think
I saw it. It's been
yeah.
30 years.
The only thing I remember about that movie is Dolph Lundgren wore a necklace with ears on it.
And it was red. I believe the whole movie was red.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that, but okay. What else we got here? Oh, Dave writes in and he says, needs to check in with Wombat about Saturday Night Live. We've had some pretty good episodes recently. Curious where he stands on the new cast members.
I think the season's been mixed. I think Willem Dafoe's episode was last weekend. I didn't really love it. It was a little flat, I guess. Yeah. I really liked the Please Don't Destroy video that they had on it. Cheapy, you should look up Please Don't Destroy on YouTube.
Okay.
They're like a little comedy troupe that does their writers on the show right now. They're not cast members, but they let them do sketches like every 2 or 3 episodes. They're short and they're quick and they're funny and it's your type of humor. I also think James Austin Johnson's impersonations are pretty stellar. He's one of the new cast members. He's pretty impressive.
What score do you give it out of 10 this season so far?
Probably 7.
All right, some room for improvement.
It's a 21 cast member cast right now, and it's like rotating because certain cast members are out off shooting things, which is a new thing that Lorne Michaels is letting cast members do this season. So I feel like you're not getting that kind of repertory feeling
right
from the cast members that you might have had in the past, and I think the show is suffering for it. Although I will take this over the special guest star for no reason that they were doing the last couple of years. Like, I don't need to see Alec Baldwin every week. I'd much rather see a cast member try and do something new. So it's a hit or miss thing. Oh, yes. And so I mentioned in the chat, Finestra mentioned that Peyton Manning was on Weekend Update and he was great. And Peyton Manning was on Weekend Update and he was pretty great. That was the highlight of the show.
Oh, wow.
Peyton Manning. Yeah. He's pretty funny.
All right. New segment, Wombat.
I heard he got $100,000 for that too. So
he is in all the betting commercials.
You got a lot more than that, probably.
he is. He's in the Caesars one.
He is.
Mm-hmm.